Stood up to him, huh? You stood up to him now, huh?
I did, yeah.
Yeah, but it wasn't too often that she let loose of her temper, so when she did, it worked, you know, it worked. But one night, I don't know what it was about, I can't remember, and I won't say what Granny said to him. But maybe I've got that mixed up with another time, but I do know Granny packed his one suitcase and went up the road, didn't he, Granny?
What did I do?
Didn't Granddad pack the suitcase one night, took a few clothes? Didn't he pack a few things and said he was leaving?
Yeah, he got his suit of clothes. He says, I'm going to town to get my money out of the bank. And I don't know what he said then. But I just let him go.
And he came back too.
Turn around, come back.
You couldn't get rid of him, huh?
Oh, you can't get rid of these suitcases, men. I've been trying. Oh boy.
Well, he got mad at me because I let David, about 3-year-old, 2.5 or 3, lay on the bed when he thought I should have put him in that little bed that we had a little bed made. It's a right nice little bed, but it's kind of unhandy. You couldn't let no sides down, but anyhow it held him, you know. He couldn't fall off out of it. He wanted me to put him in there and or let him. He got mad because I didn't want him to. And then's when he gathered up his clothes, his suit, you know, and was going to town. Draw his money.
Probably wasn't very much to draw out of him.
We made him so mad one time. He could look awful when he got mad. He had an awful look.
Yeah, he looked kind of
was
mean,
sick.
didn't he?
We all tormented him, but we couldn't help it. It was so funny. David is always jolly, and he could make a show himself, you know. And he got him an old tan shirt and put over his face, and he was tantalizing Granddad like they do these
bullfighters,
you know, when they're fighting. And that's just what it represented, and that's what he aimed for it to be. And it made Granddad mad. He could tell he did. His eyes just bugged out. He knew what David was doing.
And he had that walking cane, too.
And he just acted that out just like on TV, you know, and it just tickled me. I couldn't help but to laugh.
He'd come at David with that cane, and David would wave that shirt at him.
And did you know he got up, and he's in his pajamas, and he went out of that house and up the road to a little shop up there, and walked up to that shop. And the people up there knew who it was. They put him in the car and brought him back home. The neighbor, Miss Bird, she thought that we treated him awful. And it wasn't right, but it was just so funny we couldn't help but laugh. David pulled the show off, you know.
Well, Granddad was awfully hard to live with.
Like, you know. He was mad. He made him mad, and or else he's already mad. I don't know which, but him.
I think he was.
Just acting that out, you know. It just made me.
Well, that's when he had his rheumatism.
That's
what I thought. Well, it was kind of in a way, you know.
Yeah, but Granddad had been showing himself
I
before that
know,
happened.
yeah,
You know, you
yeah.
couldn't help but get. I mean,
I know.
after when you're around him all the time, I mean, he got to you. And what David was doing, of course, was just really making matters worse, a whole lot worse. But my brother and Granddad didn't get along too well anyway.
How did you put up with him?
Huh?
How did you put up with him?
How did I put up with him?
Yeah.
Well, just first one way and another. If one way didn't act, and maybe another would. I'd treat him all right at times, and then again I'd get ugly with him. Just depends on the circumstances.
We give a
The
method
more
to
than I
work.
can endure, I just tell him off. Fit or not.
And he depended on her to feed him.
Oh, yeah?
Depended on Granny for just about everything.
Yeah.
And you would think he would have been a little bit nicer to her.
Well, Karen, you know how people are.
That was always his nature to run Granny.
Yeah, but
he
that's
always
true too.
did her
That's
that way.
true, and it gets worse.
People would
It
come to
gets worse.
visit and he'd run Granny down in
He
front
was
of them.
He's
Yeah.
pretty sick with arthritis, you know.
Uh-huh.
You just get that in a bad way, you've got something there, and he had sort of matter with him, and
Granddad was hard. He was really hard, you know.
Yeah, I mean, you know, he was real honest. I mean, he wouldn't take anything from anybody. He'd do, you know, do for his neighbors and all. And, you know, he was good in a lot of ways, but he was just hard to live with.
How old were you when you married him? How old were you when you married him?
He was 18.
I was
wasn't he?
18? Yeah.
He would have been 19 in March.
So how many years were you married?
we had
November.
our 50th anniversary, but we didn't celebrate it. He was sick, and we could have celebrated our 50th wedding anniversary, but we didn't do it.
Uh-huh.
I wouldn't go through all that trouble.
Yeah.
He was
Probably didn't figure there's a lot to sell.
Attaboy, Mike.
You didn't figure there's a whole lot to celebrate, did you?
No, I didn't.
Oh.
But Grandma, she took care of it to the best of her
Yes,
ability.
she
and
did. Granny did.
She treated, and he was pleased the way the Grandma took care of. He didn't know what he'd do without her.
I don't know what he would have done without her.
He was pleased with her now.
He gave me a pretty rough time most of the time.
Yeah, but he was pleased with you, Mother. He was pleased with you, you know. You know, he let on like that he couldn't get along without you, you know, or something.
Oh, yeah, yeah,
But he crap at you.
yeah.
That's the way, that was
It's
his
right,
way to do it.
it's a shame. You know,
Yeah.
it had to be that way, but.
But he did. He cared for her in his own way.
Yeah, he cared for me all right.
Yeah, a lot of people are like that.
But it hurts. It still hurts when you know, when you're always put down, you know.
Yeah. Yeah. Nobody could talk to him about it, huh? Nobody could say anything to him?
Well, Granddad was the type that he probably wouldn't know what you was talking about, because he'd get mad at you and
Mom
fly off
was
the
that
handle,
way,
and
too.
then be in a good humor pretty soon.
Well,
He
I can't
could be
say
that
Mother
way.
was like that.
Huh?
Mother wasn't like him that way. She didn't pull out of her.
Yeah, not that, well, you know, Granddad,
Like Granddad
did pull out of his pretty quick,
Yeah.
you know that. He pulled out of his, he could be mad at you, in good humor with you within an hour, couldn't he, Mother?
Yeah.
I don't think it's a matter of talking with them and saying, getting them to understand. They didn't understand. They never saw themselves as being wrong.
We needed a video camera.
Yeah.
Yes, but you had to have it on them all the time, so you know. I don't like it's that way, I'm sure, with most of us, you know, but
Yeah.
really, Granddad and Mama was the same way. She was never wrong. And if you had told her she mistreated somebody or did something that, you know, treated you in a certain way that wasn't right, heck, she'd lose her temper and start screaming at you. You know, you couldn't reason with them.
Yeah.
And Granddad was the same way, wasn't he?
Yeah.
So,
I don't know what you said.
Bird in his mouth, and I was taking care of this little girl, and her mother brought her to the door, so I opened the door. Morris comes running in. Beth says, "He's got a bird in his mouth." I said, "A bird?" So I go running after him. He goes running under the table. So anyway, I picked him up and dumped him outside. But you know, they say that cats, whatever they kill, they bring to their masters. You're supposed to pet them and say, "Nice kitty cat." I didn't say that. I'd take that, the squirrel tails that he'd dump on the doorstep and kick them off the side over there. 10 minutes later, turn around and be right back on the doorstep again. So finally what you had to do was pick it up and put it in the trash container. Get rid of it.
So he bring you the mockingbird's feathers? What did he do with them?
No, you talking about that paranoid bird?
Yeah.
That I was telling you about? No, we just found him, Tim. Where did we find him at? Outside.
In the house.
Yeah.
Was it in the house?
Outside.
Outside.
And since we never heard the bird after that, we assumed
I
that
know
that
that
was the
was-
guilty
I
party.
knowed it was him because I recognized the color of his feathers.
Uh-huh.
So he didn't strip him down.
And that was one bird I kept saying every day, horse, go out now and do your thing. Please kill that bird. Please kill it.
Back and forth out there.
Yeah, I was ready to shoot it myself. I mean, you know.
Oh, man.
So anyway.
But he suddenly disappeared.
Well, it wasn't exactly suddenly. It was just, you know, like I said, over a period of months. It didn't seem like
This
suddenly.
went on for months?
Yes, months. Well, you think the porch is piled up like that. I mean, it'd do it good to clean it off.
Uh-huh.
I mean, he spent all his time out there, you know, other than when he ate, I guess. So you had to, you know, you couldn't clean it, didn't do any good. So, you know, I just waited, and later on I got a shovel and shoveled it off.
Well, consider yourselves lucky. Some people pay $300 to get a parrot to annoy them. You didn't have to pay anything to buy this bird to annoy you.
Right. I don't care to have anything to annoy me. No, the bird was loud, though. You know.
Why do they
That'd
want
drive more
something-
crazy to put a parrot in you, wouldn't it?
Well, they don't really want them.
They're jumping all the time.
They don't want the bird to annoy them. They just buy these parrots, and they.
Oh, you mean they just buy them because they want them?
Yeah.
Not that they think they're gonna get annoyed. Or
Right, but after a while they get sick of hearing hello, or anything worse. I mean, they might do all sorts of obscenities for all you know.
Oh, can't you just
They,
imagine
they
picking
would
up
if they heard it.
some of the things that
Yeah, that's right. They
said in
learn.
the household sometimes? I mean, I wouldn't even want a parrot in this house. And I know you
No,
would.
we don't need two of them talking in here.
That's what I meant your mouth, dear, that needs to be washed out with soap about every other day.
You must have washed them real good on Friday, because I haven't heard anything
Oh,
naughty
no,
out of
heck,
them.
when I first met him, I said, gosh, you know, he's a nice person. I mean, well, you still are, dear. We're on
You
tape,
didn't
so
know-
I'm not
you
going to
didn't
say
know how
anything.
it was.
But I didn't know you know, you knew any of those words.
What words? Let me see.
Oh.
Taping. You're all set. Okay, I gotta tell you two stories. One is about Mead, and another one is about my husband. And Mead used to love to tell this story. She used to love to tell this story to me. She told me over and over again. She was very down and out. She didn't have much money, so she was dependent upon welfare. And she used to have, I don't know whether you remember going into her house when everybody went to Staten Island to visit her. I guess they finally went inside. I don't know. Did
Well,
they?
I didn't go.
I know, but do you think they must have gone inside? Well, what they
Her
would have seen,
apartment.
yeah. Well, her house, if they had gone inside, which I didn't ask them whether they had gone inside, but if they had gone inside, they'd see black walls. She painted her walls black, and she'd write in white
They did
chalk.
go in.
Okay, on white chalk, and she'd write things like, "The world is waiting for the sunrise," or I always expect the least of men, and I'm seldom disappointed. She put also, and then the one thing she wrote was, "Welfare is hellfare," and she hated being on welfare because they were constantly coming and investigating her. But and she was quite eccentric. It was quite different, and she used to be dressed in these black coats. She'd wear a black dress with a black coat and a black hat, and she'd go walking out or working in her garden, and people, you know, some of the kids teased her and called her a witch, and they weren't very nice to her, you know.
Well,
Yeah, some of the kids weren't very nice to her because she was rather exotic looking, different looking.
yeah, definitely.
So, and she was wonderful with me, very gentle and always very affectionate. And I always felt sorry for her, and I used to give her a lot of attention and write letters to her. And, but she was different, and she had about 3 locks. She didn't trust anybody. She had about 3 locks on her door. And I'd come to visit, and he'd knock, and you say, "It's Grandma," and "Who is it?" And I say, "It's Karen." "Grandma, it's Karen." "Who is it? Are you sure?" And she'd look, and she still wouldn't open. She wouldn't make sure it was really me before she'd open the door. So one time, she found out that her investigator was going to be coming to visit, and the welfare investigator, but she found out that a new one was coming. And so she said, "Okay, have him come out." so he came and he knocked on the door, and she said, "Who is it?" And he said, "Well, I'm Jim Shealy or something, your investigator." And she said, "Oh, who sent you?" And she asked, several questions before she would even let him in. Then she started fooling with the locks, right? She gets the first lock open, and then she gets the dead lock open, and then she finally opens the door, and there's a chain there, and then she looks out, and he still is showing his cards and his thing. This is who I really am. She finally lets him in, and he walks in, and he's standing there very nervously looking around. He's looking at the walls that say,
I guess so.
I expect the least of men, and I'm seldom disappointed, and welfare is hellfare. And he's looking around at these walls. She loved to tell this story. She'd tell it to me. And he's looking around at these walls, and he's nervously playing with his papers, and he's shuffling his papers, and finally he goes in, and he just, he asks a few questions, writes a few things down, and he's obviously very nervous, and he wants to get out of there fast. So she says, "Okay, goodbye." And, she goes to the door, and she starts unlocking the doors, and she's having trouble with the keys and the locks and everything. And she says, "Well, I can't seem to get this lock open." And he's standing there just about wetting his pants saying, "Let me out, let me out, let me out, let me out."
Golly, she really had him upset, didn't she?
Yeah, oh gosh, she loved to tell that story about this man standing there, "Let me out,
Started
let me
to think
out."
he wasn't going to get out.
Oh gosh, she loved that stuff.
Why she painted her walls black?
To use it as a blackboard, I guess, so she could write. I have no idea. It's like I never asked her. It just seemed like quite natural. Grandma
in some
writes
way, it reflected her mood,
Yeah.
her feelings about life,
Yeah, a lot of blackness and sadness. Yeah. Yeah, she felt very pessimistic about things.
Yeah, maybe she had seen more sunlight and more light colors.
Yeah.
She wouldn't have felt so down.
Well, she was always saying the world is waiting for the sunrise instead of realizing that the world is a sunrise.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. I never agreed with her philosophically.
She saw things from a different viewpoint, didn't
No,
she?
she was very negative and very pessimistic. And I would always say cheerful things, trying to encourage her to see things more brightly, and she'd say, "Oh, you'll find out. You're just young now. And,
Yeah.
You'll know when the world starts treating you badly." So she always felt oppressed.
Yeah.
I don't know what she went through to make her that way.
I don't know either. But she seems like to me, she missed a lot of the simple joys of life that were all around her.
Yeah.
If she could just have seen them.
Yeah, well, you can look at life. You can look at all the negative.
Yeah,
You can really,
that's all you see, and life's
Sure.
going to be bad all
You
the time, isn't it?
You could focus on that, and that could be what all you see, and you could keep yourself pretty busy looking at that. You could pretty well keep yourself occupied looking at the negative, and you could also look at the world through rose-colored glasses and not see the problems that are around us. So you have to try to look realistically and see that we have problems, but we also have an incredibly beautiful world.
Yeah. That's the way Granny raised me. She could always see the beautiful things in life, the simple things, the birds, the way the sun shines, the color of the sky, Yeah. And she had a lot of, things happen to her. She lost children, children that the JC he was 4, and she lost him, and she, it hurt her real bad. She still got his little clothes in her trunk, but she went on. And I don't know how she thinks right now about life, but I imagine she still gets some enjoyment out of it. I think today she was kind of tired, but I know she does. She's enjoyed you coming up. She enjoyed that tremendously.
Yeah. Well, it's funny how two sisters will look at life in a totally different way.
Yeah,
Just like my brother, he looks at his life. He looked at his life in a totally different way from me. Pretty much the same upbringing will strike people different ways.
But
I mean, look at Edith's mother died when she was 9, so she was motherless, and it didn't do me any good to have her mother up until she was 21
Yeah,
because
right.
they didn't appreciate each other.
Yeah, because of their natures.
Yeah.
And of course, Granny can't really tell you a whole lot about.
Yeah, because she's so
That's
much
just-
younger.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And when you're young, you really don't pay too much attention
Yeah. Oh, I don't
to
remember
things,
much before
you know,
I was
that
6.
really go on around
No, I don't
your
remember.
household.
I don't
Unless it's
remember much
really,
at all.
really, you know, violent or something.
Yeah, I don't remember much at all.
Well, you said you had another.
Yeah, I have
Mhm.
another story, and my friends say it's not funny at all.
Oh, really?
But I think it's a funny story. At any rate, my husband has a brother who who lived at the time in Massachusetts. I have to sort of set the scene a little bit. And he had a brother named Tony. And I also had a dog. We lived in Bloomington at the time. I had a dog named Kim, and Kim was very, very precious to me. He was a collie, and I had gotten him when I was 12 years old or something like that. He was real special to me, and I was real fond of him. And he used to go with me everywhere, and he was real smart and beautiful collie. And at about this time, this was the time Christina was born, my oldest child, and I was into being super mom. Really, I mean, I did everything. I mean, I just had natural foods and cooked
Oh,
naturally.
did you really?
We had animals. I think at the time we had a cow or something, or maybe goats. I don't even remember what it was. I guess it was cow. And I had my own garden, and I was, you know, had Pat's kids up. When Pat's kids come up, I put a lot of energy into them. So I was always busy being super stepmother and super mom. And when I had my daughter, I sort of forgot about Kim.
Yeah,
You know, it's just I
you
really,
do.
yeah.
I did that with I had a dog named Sandy.
It's not that I didn't forgot about him. It's just that I was
wasn't as
focused on my
important.
daughter.
Dog wasn't as important.
Yeah, and I didn't want her to have rashes or anything, so I used to have her. I never put rubber pants on her, which means she wet through everything, and so I had to do laundry constantly. So I was real busy. And at about the same time, Pat got sick, and he had this ear thing. He has what was it? I don't know. The ear. I don't know. Well, inside the ear, it's an infection of the ear, and he was basically deaf in one ear. And so every once in a while it would flare up, and he'd get feverish, and he'd get dizzy or something. So I guess he had a bout with that. So Tony knew that Pat had been sick. Well, one day, I went out and I said, gee, I wonder where Kim is. I haven't seen Kim in a while. So I said, I wonder where he is. We lived in a trailer at the time, and it was hot. It was July. I was looking around for Kim, and suddenly I found him underneath the trailer, and he wouldn't come out. And I said, come on, Kim. He wouldn't come out. So I crawled under there, and I pulled him out. I drag him out into the daylight, and I see he's covered with maggots around in his rectal area. Apparently, he was not good. He's so old at this time. He was quite old and arthritic, and he couldn't clean himself. So he didn't clean himself properly, and flies laid eggs, and he had maggots all over him. It was horrible. So I'm trying to wash them off. I'm washing them off with a hose and everything, and I'm crying the whole time because I was really upset. Meanwhile, I'm trying to deal with Christina. My niece was there at the time visiting, so she was helping me with Christina, and I was, busy with Christina, and Jermaine was my niece, and the dog, and fussing around. And I was just focused on the dog then. So Jermaine and Christina and I took the dog to veterinarian. The veterinarian looks at the dog and says he has to be destroyed. He's too far gone. He's too weak. The dog was by this time 8 years old, and he was pretty old anyway for collies. Collies don't last long. So I kill him, and I was really heartbroken. And the veterinarian wasn't even nice. He said, well, the dog is too far gone, and you can give me $50 right now, and I'll try to work on him, but he's going to die anyway, so you might as well have him destroyed. I mean, he was just nasty about it. So I said, all right, I'll have him destroyed. So I held Kim's head, and he gave him the needle, and Kim died there, and that was it. And I was heartbroken. I left him there, and I went home, and I was crying, and just as I'm walking in the door, the phone's ringing. And so I said hello, and it was Tony calling from Massachusetts. And he says, "How's the old man?" And I said, "Oh, Tony, it's terrible. He was under the trailer, and he got maggots on his rectum, and he was he was so far gone, we had to have him destroyed."
She's talking about the dog and
Well,
I guess so.
And Tony's on the other end there, and there's silence, you know, there's total silence. And finally I could hear him gasping and saying, "What happened? What do you mean? What happened?" And I said, "It's terrible, Tony. He was down underneath the trailer, and it's so hot, and he couldn't clean himself properly, and the flies apparently laid maggots on his rectum. Laid eggs on it, and he got wrecked." He said, "What was he doing under the trailer?" And so, you know, after a couple minutes, he says, "I thought he was sick. Why wasn't he in bed?" And then it suddenly occurred to me, oh gosh, he's talking about Pat, and I'm talking about the dog.
Oh, that is hilarious. Really, it really is.
I think it's a funny story. My friends tell me that's a sick story.
That's hilarious, though, and we'll have to take a VCR with us when we go to Arkansas next time and let them see the rest of this anyway. That one's too good to miss. It's a terrible story in a way, but it's hilarious also.
Yeah, terrible story. Yeah.
Really is. That's a good one.
Yeah.
Took you a while to figure out, huh? You had the wrong.
Yeah, it took a couple minutes.
Yeah. Golly.
Okay, so now we got enough of this. Start with then. The jerks you have met?
Yeah,
Okay, tell me about some of the jerks you've met.
the real conceited ones.
Yeah?
Okay, the ones that tell me how they want me to dress.
Are these boyfriends? These
Yeah, they
guys-
were for about a week.
Uh-huh. Guys you've gone out with, and they
Mhm.
tell you exactly
They
what...
tell me what they want me to wear. They tell me what they want me to wear.
Mm-hmm.
Every move to make.
So they're critical of you.
Yeah, very.
Okay, so you dump them.
Yeah,
Right.
and they're all on drugs.
Uh-huh.
After they've lied and told me they weren't.
Uh-huh. So you dump them.
That's right.
Okay.
I told them off.
So what'd you have left then?
I just kept looking because there's more fish in the sea.
Uh-huh. So then you went for the jocks. Did you go for the jocks yet? Or were they too busy looking at their bodies and running around the field?
That's right, too busy combing their hair and putting mousse in it. They compete with each other. They will walk down the hall at school and they'll look at another guy, you know. Like one guy will come down the hall and look at another guy like, "I'm better than you. My hair looks better today. I'm dressed better than you." And the other guy will look at him with his sunglasses on like, "Are you crazy? You know you've lost." I mean, things like that, and I walk down the hall like, "Both of you are really stupid," you know.
The girls don't do that?
Well, no. I have to say my friends and I compete with each other.
Oh, yeah? How do you compete with each other?
Well, now I know this sounds stupid, but it's like who weighs the less? Who can get into a size 3? Okay, my friend Erin and I, okay, me and her went to the mall one time and went into Dillard's, and she got all excited because she could get in a size 3 jeans. And then she put that same pair, she said, "Here, try these on, see if you can fit into them." But see, I'm taller than her, and she doesn't realize that you're going to be proportioned differently. Well, I put on those 3 jeans and couldn't get them zipped up. She said, yeah.
Is this important to you?
Yes, it's important. It made me sick.
Oh, yeah?
Because she was so bullheaded, she wouldn't admit that I'm taller than her. That's why they didn't fit me. Couldn't get them zipped up. I tried. I held in my stomach. And she said, "Yeah, I weigh less than you. See?" Went to school the next day, told everybody how she got in size 3 jeans and I couldn't.
So how did that make you feel?
I kept saying, "I weigh less than you," and they weren't listening. They're going, "Yeah, ha, you know."
So you're really in competition about your weight then, huh?
Yeah. And I guess the age of the guys we go out with. Who can go out with the oldest guy?
Oh, yeah.
That's gotta be it. my friend will say, yeah, I'm going out with this guy 26 years old. Yours is only 21, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Or he has a better car than yours.
Mm-hmm.
You know, my friends are, they look at cars too much. They don't, or the status the guy has, they don't care. You know about, is he a nice person? Okay, there's a guy I like at school. His name's Jason. He acts a little bit weird, okay? Half the time his mind might be missing a little bit. And my friends just, you know, oh, he's so weird. Don't be seen with him, you know? But I have talked to him and I really like him.
Mm-hmm.
Because around everybody else he might act weird, but around me he doesn't.
Mm-hmm.
He's really funny and he does care about people. And they don't think so. They just think he's a, you know, weirdo. God, he's a psycho or something.
Mm-hmm.
Because, Friday, it was so funny in front of the whole class. He didn't have his geography book. And our teacher, Ms. Perkins, said, Jason, where's your geography book? He said, I lost it, you know. I'm sitting there turning more red by the minute, you know.
Your tournament.
Yeah, because I was sitting with him.
Mm-hmm.
And she said, well, you know, and I was sharing my book with him. And she said, well, where is it? Oh, I lost it. Well, she said, have you told your locker? Oh, I don't have, you know, I have one, but I haven't been there all year. And she said, well, you know, what about your other books? Oh, I lost them too. And then she said, do you have spiral notebooks? Yeah, I carry them around with me all the time, since I don't have a locker to put them in, you know. Well, do you have a car? Yeah, but it blew up. She just screamed and said, I give up, you know.
Oh, wow.
She said, why? Just tell me why it blew up. Oh, I forgot to put the oil in. You know, something really crazy like that. We all died laughing.
He blew his engine. Oh, I see.
Yeah, it blew up, okay. So I said, do you have a room at home? Do you have furniture? Oh, yeah, I got furniture. I said, I just wondered, you know.
Oh, gosh. So she put him really on the spot. But you like him anyway, huh?
Yeah, I like him a lot.
Good.
And I know when my friends watch this film, they're going to laugh at me really bad.
So don't show
I
it
don't
to
care.
them.
I'm going to show it to them.
Good. All right.
Okay, Amy and Aaron, you're going to watch this film. And if you laugh at me, too bad. Because I can name many things.
But you know, if they laugh at
many
you.
guys you have been out with, I mean, you have made many mistakes. I made a few too. But I mean, I look at it this way. Don't care about what other people think.
That's right. Just make
Because, I mean,
what makes you happy doesn't
if I cared
necessarily
about what
have to
other
make-
people thought, I wouldn't have anything. I would never go out on dates because they would have something to complain about. Oh, his teeth are crooked. Or, I don't like the way he laughs. Something like that, you know?
Yeah. Oh, God.
Now, I admit I prefer guys with blonde hair, but sometimes brown isn't so bad.
So is that what you look for? What do you look for in a guy?
Well, I like an accent,
Uh-huh.
like Australian or British, you know,
Mm-hmm.
or Norwegian or something.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I remember freshman year, this guy named Mats came from Sweden. He was ugly. He looked like Lurch on the Addams Family. And all the girls wrote him notes and oh. He had blue eyes and blonde hair, and he was on the football team, of course. And he was ugly, okay? He was ugly, but he talked in that Swedish accent, and they ran after him, followed him down the hall, and he's sitting there going, I don't understand these American girls, you know? I'm not, he said this to me, I'm not this popular back at home. He said, I don't even have a girlfriend back there. I'm a popular guy. He said he was, he felt like what'd he say?
Celebrity?
So he felt like what did he say? It was really funny. He just felt like a real American or something. You know?
That's great.
And it was crazy because, you know, he didn't know what to think about all these girls going after him. But you know what? It died down. As soon as football season was over, the poor guy was left to walk the halls alone. No one would even give him the time of day. You know, all of a sudden it just flopped, and he was probably thinking, what happened? I really felt sorry for him. You know, here he came to our school and he had millions of people following him around. Then when it's time for him to leave and go back to his country, nobody hardly said goodbye to him.
Oh gosh, the poor guy.
Poor guy. No, I like an accent. I like money.
Mhm.
The more expensive a car, the better.
Mhm.
They have to dress well. I'm talking. Well, no, I don't like makeup. I have gone out with a guy that wore makeup.
Mm.
Okay? But, and I got laughed at about that, you know. They called him a fag, too.
Yeah.
That didn't last very long. But I like guys who dress well. I mean, expensive Capezio shoes, leather, gold chains. Especially they give me gold chains. That's even no, nothing expensive though. I like a guy that has his hair really neat. You know, kind of brushed over to the side or something. And one that will treat me nice. You know, that cares about you. Not somebody's going to cut you down in front of his friends. You know, there's a kind of guy that when he's with you, he's totally different. And then when he gets with his friends, he just has to show off and just treats you like dirt. That's it. I don't like that. But, that's what I would say about guys. I hope
Sure
I'm very
narrows down the
rich
field, so though, doesn't it? Sure narrows down the field, doesn't it?
Yes, that's...
But that's good. I'm glad
It
you're
does.
fussy. I'm glad you're fussy. Keep keep your standards. Have somebody that's nice to you.
Yeah.
That's important.
A lot of girls in my school just take anything.
Mm.
I forgot.
Mm.
No.
So before you were going to tell me the time you were most scared.
I was most scared.
Yeah.
It was about 2 weeks ago.
Mhm.
Me and Aaron were we had just come back. No, we were trying to find the Raleigh Mall. We go there all the time. We could not find the Raleigh Mall. We had come back from seeing Amy at Mega Market and looking at a 200SX. Aaron wants a 200SX.
What's a 200 SX?
A Dyson. It's a car.
Oh, a car. Okay.
This is gonna look really good on film. But yeah, and we happened to go down Old Brownsville Road, deserted road, talking 2 lanes, woods, cornfields, like in Children of the Corn, the scary movie by Stephen King. Did you see that movie?
No, I've heard about it.
That's the kind of road it was. Nothing. The kind that Jason in Friday the 13th movie could come and jump out on your windshield. We ended up on that road, and you could not turn around because it goes straight. I swear, 50 miles. Somehow we turned off on that road. We had she had our headlights on for us. We weren't worried at first. There were a few cars around us. Then there were no cars. Nothing. I pulled down the visor so, I wouldn't have to look out because I started sinking down in the seat and she was just going, oh my God, I don't see any cars. I said, go faster, Nothing ahead but road. 30 minutes we drove. It was like 9 o'clock at night. Nothing but silence. We drove and drove and drove. Nothing. And me and her both about started crying. We were so scared.
Oh, no.
Finally we got to the end of the road. And we turned around, It was either that or we could have gone another way, but there was a dead end. We weren't going to go down a dead end, We turned around, it took us about 30 minutes to get back. I mean, that sounds dumb being scary, but it was scary.
Yeah, well,
It was pretty scary, because you don't know what psychos are out there.
Yeah, well, you make those connections with all the movies that you've seen.
Yeah, I know, it's all the movies, that's what does it.
Yeah.
And the second scariest thing was about a week and a half ago, I went to see Nightmare on Elm Street Part 2. That Freddy Krueger in that movie, have you heard about him?
No.
Scary. Woo.
Yeah. Oh, I think I heard something about Freddy, or Freddy's gonna get yours.
Yeah. Boy, Freddy got me. I was scared to death. There were these, hope you don't mind my term, squids.
What's a squid?
The guys in the Marines with the real short hair.
Uh-huh.
They got
They're
it all
called
shaved. We call them squids.
Uh-huh.
Mom gets mad when I say that.
Oh,
They were
okay.
from Pennsylvania. They walked past us and they looked, and I had on my beret. They came back, I thought, oh no, but Erin was the one that had 4 empty seats by her, not me. So they got stuck by her, didn't shut up during the whole movie, had to listen to their comments, their remarks. They were acting like they were 12 years old. And then I wasn't talking to them because I wasn't interested, you know. I could see how stupid they were by the way they were making those remarks during the whole movie, you know. And they yelled down there at me, "Hey, Brownie, what's your name?" I said, "I'm not a brownie." They go, "Hey, Girl Scout."
Good.
Then they started making fun of the way we talk, you know. They said, "Y'all from Memphis?"
God.
I hated that, you know.
Good.
And I screamed every few minutes. I had my feet up in the chair. That was scary. There's other scary things that have happened. Haunted houses are scary. The time we got broke into was scary. But I was asleep when it happened. But afterwards I was scared. My heart was just, ugh.
Oh, wow. Somebody broke into your house?
Yeah. It was just me and my great-grandmother that you met. You know? We were both asleep. They took the screen off my window. Would have got in my room, but the dog next door barked. They probably would have killed me. They were after pills. I got sleeping pills. They came in through the kitchen window.
Wow.
Knocked over some silverware. We heard the door bang. We got up, you know. And that was before Mom was married. She was out night clubbing. She came in early that night, you know. We were sitting here calmly. She said, "What happened?" I said, "Oh, we got broke into." Nothing. You know, she tells me now how calm I was, you know.
Yeah. How
She
old
thought
were
we
you
were
then?
kidding. I was about 12.
Wow.
And we called the police and stuff. And it was snowing that day. There were snow prints, you know. You could see some big footprints and some small ones. And that was scary. And then another scary thing was about 3 or 4 weeks ago when the guy got hit by a car. He was on his motorcycle right out in front of our house. And I was one of, you know, the first people out there. And he was just laying there, you know. I didn't know if he was dead or what. And everyone was telling him he'll be all right. We'll call the ambulance. And he started screaming, "Help me, help me." Just going, "Oh my God, help me," you know. And I automatically started crying. Because, you know, someone that age, he was young too.
Yeah.
You know, it just was really sad. Of course, he's nice looking too, but...
Did you ever follow up on him? Find out
No,
how it happened?
I don't know what happened to him. I don't know. I thought about it. I believe he lives right down the street.
Yeah.
But, luckily I missed my car that didn't have insurance. I would have been out of a car, you know.
Tell me about the most boring party. You told me you had a bunch of boring parties. What makes a boring party? What was this party like?
Okay, it was all couples. Okay, well, Erin was supposed to go, but she had to work or something. I guess it was about 9th or 10th grade. And I didn't know it was going to be all couples. So I went by myself, you know. It was a birthday party, too. So the house was all decorated nice. It was Wendy Matthews. And before I know it, since all the guests get there and notice they're all couples, and I was really shy then, and I didn't really go for parties anyway, because I didn't know how to talk to people. And so I sit on the couch, you know, and just try to play cool, you know, try to be cool, but I wasn't talking to anybody. And all of a sudden she puts on these real slow records, and Air Supply records, and everybody gets up and starts dancing. And maybe there was one other guy that didn't bring anybody with him, but he was ugly, really ugly. And so everybody's dancing real close, you know, and the lights are all off. I have to admit, the only thing he could do is go in the kitchen and eat some of the birthday cake. It was boring. And I talked to other people that had been to her other parties, and they said, you know, that part is the most boring party I've ever been to in my life. And, you know, I mean, what can you do when everybody's up there dancing, couples? You can't do anything.
Yeah.
If you're not with a guy, you just sit there. The other guy that didn't bring anybody fell asleep over there by the fireplace. He fell asleep. And did anybody notice? No. Nobody's gonna notice. I mean, that was boring. Really boring.
You want to listen to this now?
Not really.
No?
Not yet. I don't want to hear myself.
No? We should try hearing you. You try listening to yourself.
I don't know if I'm...
Is the little red light on?
Yes, it is.
Then you're on.
Yeah, I'm gone, alright.
No, you're on. You're supposed to now be telling me what you're going to do with your life.
Okay. My life. In video form. Well, I don't want to be an artist.
You don't?
No. Even though I can draw, I don't want to do that.
Why not?
Because there's too many other people that are better that I would have to compete with.
You don't mind competing with the girls about the boys with the fast cars and the the weight and the...
Well, that's a little bit easier.
Uh-huh.
It's more fun. That's fun. This wouldn't be. I would be poor if I had to compete with everybody else. I mean, because there's a lot of better artists out there than me. A lot. No, I think I'll be a writer and a part-time interior decorator in the big, rich homes.
So you'll make your money being an interior decorator.
Yeah.
And in your spare time, that you'll have so much spare time.
I'll write a few novels.
I see. So you like to write, huh? Yeah.
A lot. Even though Sister Deitchel criticized me for that paper, I'm going to ignore her and continue writing.
I'm glad. Yeah. So, okay, now that's how you're going to make your money. So what other plans have you got?
See, I don't depend on marrying someone right away because too many people get divorced. So I will stay single and travel the world, which means going to England, the Bahamas, France. But if I do meet the right guy in England, might get married. But if he's a businessman, then he can go away on trips and just leave me the checkbook. See, then I won't have to worry about having arguments with him because he will be gone. And the only arguments we could have would be over the checkbook. How much I spent, you know. So, or I could marry someone really old and he'll die, and then I'll get all his money. But I wouldn't do that. I'll probably wait to get married until I'm about 25 or 30. And once I get married and divorced, that's it. No more.
You're planning to get married and divorced?
Well, no. I mean, I figure I will. Everybody else does. Most people. I don't know. I don't want to make a habit of it, have a record. 3 or 4 divorces. Be Elizabeth Taylor with 7 marriages. No, 1 will do. No kids. No kids. I can't handle kids. I don't know why. They constant screaming and yelling, you know. The ones that come in the store while I work just drive me crazy. There was one today, and I mean, I guess she was cute for a kid. I don't like kids that well. I know that sounds cold and heartless, but she was...
You don't have to like kids. I mean, there are enough people that like kids.
She looked like a typical brat kid. She was real fat and had these big rosy cheeks, you know. And every few minutes, she started crying and screaming, "Mama, where's Mama? You know, I want this." Her mom said, "Well, what about this?" "No, this." You know, something like that. I thought, I'd probably be a child abuser. That's why I don't think I should have any kids. I might want to hang them upside down, you know, or something. But that kid, they were in the store. The ones that cry, they always they don't leave. When a kid starts crying, leave the store. The woman stayed an hour, maybe an hour and a half. And I try to remain calm. She'll be leaving in a minute. You know, I said, "Can I help you?" "Oh, no, I'm just looking." And the kid's going, "I want to leave now." Ah, you know, started screaming and stuff. She said, "We'll go in a minute. Just let Mommy look a little longer." And the kid's going, screaming, you know, tears are running all around the store. "I want to leave now." And then starts throwing a temper tantrum, screaming at the top of his lungs. And the mom says, "All right, just calm down. We'll leave soon. Mommy will buy you some candy." You know, bribery, like they always do those kids. She said, "You don't happen to have any gum around, do you?" I said, "No, why?" "Anything to keep her quiet." I said, believe me, if I had a piece, I'd give it to her.
If that would work.
I felt like taking something from the store to keep the kid quiet. It was pretty bad. I don't like kids like that. I don't like kids anyway. Because my mom has babysat 4 or 5 at a time. And my day off from school, and I don't have to go to work, and I like to sleep till noon. And the kids are running around. I can hear them in the kitchen. The floor vibrates against my wall. Running around in there. It's mine, it's mine. No, it's mine, you know. And screaming and acting like they're Indians and stuff. I hear Mom say, I'm not going to tell you, to be quiet. You know, Lisa's trying to sleep. They're quiet for 5 minutes. She sends them outside. All of a sudden, I wake up hearing something hitting my window. They're throwing stuff out my window. You know, Mom's out there, get away from our window. So, you know, then they come back in and it's running in the kitchen. Finally, I give up. It's about 9 in the morning. I get up, I come in here mad and start yelling at Mom. It's not my fault. But, no, she only takes care of one now. I'm so glad. Only one. I mean, that was a time when it was really rough. She was taking care of 2 babies. Okay? And 4 kids, 2 of which were toddlers, and you know how toddlers are.
Yeah.
It was horrible, horrible. And I feel really bad for not offering any of my help, but I can't stand changing diapers or doing anything like that. And then the kids got on my nerves real bad, so I go somewhere with my friends. I don't like it. You know that, obviously. Don't turn it off yet. I'm not through.
Okay, tell me what else you have planned.
Well, I'm hoping, I've worked a lot for this car that I have now, but I'm hoping to get a Pontiac Fiero, red, with sunroof. That is my goal. Besides that, I'd like a Mercedes convertible. Nice big house. I want to be comfortable. I don't want to be poor. I want to be comfortable. Go on a trip once in a while if I want, you know. Go, you know, on a spare moment, you know, just fly off to Britain or something. I know everyone says the same thing. I'm going to have all kinds of money. But, I mean, I figure if you really want it bad enough, you can have money. And, of course, I'll keep my mom happy, too. Mom and Tim. If they're still married by then. No, I told her I'd send her a monthly check, you know, some money. She told me 3,000 or 4,000 will do. We'll see. We'll see how she behaves now. But, no, I'm not going to be mean. You know, fine. You know, it depends how much royalties I get from my books. You know, they send me 90,000, I'll send her 5,000 or 10,000.
What kind of books are you going to write?
Well, thought about being kind of like Stephen King. Thrillers, real scary books that'll blow your mind. Or, well, I can't really write those mushy romantic books. I don't know. No, nowadays they have to be more than just romantic. And I'm not writing any books like that, you know. Any books that have a warning on them or something on the cover. But probably scary books and maybe a book about my life. I thought, not that it'd be interesting or anything, but it might be kind of fun.
It would be fun for you to write it, isn't
Yeah.
it?
I don't know, I just might write about people.
That's why your dog looks at you like, listen, man, you got a choice. Okay? I can either hump your leg or leave the house. It's up to you. Your choice. It's a time when your cat looks at you like, you've ever seen this before? Basically, it's that urge. It's springtime. It's nature crying out, let's party! It's time to go wild and do that dance of love. It's time when male birds do that incredible thing where they go, check it out, check it out, check it out, I'm incredible, check it out. And the female birds are usually going, maybe, maybe. Yes, and we as human beings, we are driven by the same sexual desire. Men, you know you have a tiny creature living between your legs that has no memory and no conscience. You know that. You know you have no control. There is no control over this tiny beast. You wake up in the morning, he's been up 5 minutes before you, like, how you doing? No conscious control. He's there. Yaha! Morning, time for jumping jack. And whoever you will, they look at you like, who are you thinking about? He looks at them with that one good eye, and nobody, I'm on my own. Let's play horseshoes, get a towel, put a hat on me, let's take a jab. And you may be playing sports, maybe with other men. You've just done manly things. You've played a good game of football. You've just turned your friend's face into goo. You're in the locker room, you're soaping up going, good game, everybody. All of a sudden he rises up and goes, hey, good game, everybody. All your friends are going, yeah, real good game, Bob. You have no control. It should be a separate creature. You should be able to take it up, boom, put him on the ground. Take him for a walk. He's got the rollers. He'd be like, Make it a different thing. You'd have some control, at least some control. Heel. You'd have some control then, but as it is now, you have none. No control at all. Women know this. When you look at it, you can see the look in their eyes like, well, it's a ridiculous piece of flesh. My God, it looks like a snail wearing a helmet. What is it? Or if you're uncircumcised, look like a snake wearing a sweater. You know that. It's ridiculous. But the moment he starts to rise, yeah. It's a different case. They get that look in their eyes like, alien. Yeah. Strange. Why? Why is he here? Why are we driven by this desire? We have lust. Lust permeates our soul sometimes. Men, we are so driven by this lust that we have a violent streak that comes along with it. If we can't fuck it, we'll kill it. You know what I'm saying? It's like that. That's how we make weapons. A nuclear bomb. It's basically a man's way of saying, I'm going to fuck up the earth. Yeah. A woman would never make a nuclear weapon. They would never make a bomb that kills you. They'd make a bomb that makes you feel bad for a while. See? There'd be a whole other thing. That's why there should be a woman president. Don't you see? That'd be a wonderful thing. Be an incredible concept that. There would never be any wars, just every 28 days, some intense negotiations. That'd be the good thing here. Because you have that release. As a woman, every 28 days, you can get crazy. Your friend comes into town. I don't think it's a friend, do you? How many friends make you want to stand on top of the roof with an automatic weapon and go, get in the house! Get in the fucking house! No, it's not a friend. That's why men are going, well, maybe not. We're driven. We are driven by this desire, by this strange creature. Wouldn't it be nice sometimes? Wouldn't it be nice if you can go into a bar, buy him a drink once in a while? There'd be a big bar up here, a little bar down here for him. Go into the bar, yeah, put him out. He's looking up at you with that one good eye like, how you been, baby? Sorry about last night. I guess I got nervous, fired off a couple of warning shots. What the hell? But if you didn't try and strangle me, I'd have a better chance. You know what I'm saying? The hell, I can't go back in there, man. That's some scary stuff, you know what I'm saying? I'm not going back without a wetsuit and a mining helmet, I tell you that. You better work on that stuff. I'm not going back. Hell no, I won't go. Hey, forget what I said. Who's that? I'm going down here. You talk to her. Downscope. Don't you see? It'd be the only true character witness you could ever have at a divorce trial. Your Honor, I'd like to bring out a character witness right now. I believe it has a lot of bearing on the case. Promise to tell the whole truth, nothing but the truth. Promise to raise your right hand. I don't have a right hand, but I'll give it a shot. Mr. Fallis. On the night of the 15th, what do you remember? Well, it was light, it was dark, it was light, it was dark, it was light. Couldn't see very well. The hell am I supposed to do? God damn it, what the hell am I supposed to do? What do you want from me? God damn it, I didn't know. He's the commander. I merely sat down here. I held the testicles. I didn't know why. I am not an animal. I am a sexual organ. It is this creature, this lust. But what compensates for this? There is also your heart.